gold down there, Diane. There's gold down there.
You're like their number one favorite guy. Because you won them cash.
It's the SG Tour Report, and this week we get to talk about one of our favourite tournaments. If you don't know why it's one of our favourites, then all will be revealed shortly. But first, we have to look back on last week. It was the Arnold Palmer Invitational at Bay Hill. Elk, I went down for Sunday and enjoyed the final day. But my gosh, I watched that course. You always have such admiration for professional golfers and what they can do, but it was so tough on Sunday.
Yeah, I watched it yesterday afternoon, Diane. There was a lot of high scores that came in yesterday. And, you know, really the book on Bay Hill, Diane, is get off to a good start, because usually as the week goes along, all the scores start to come backwards. We saw Jason Kokrak, our own Secret Golf contributor, get off to a good start. Didn't play super yesterday, but still got into the top 10. Of course, everyone saw what Bryson DeChambeau did on number 6. I said yesterday when I was playing golf with a couple of members, I said, if Bryson DeChambeau hits it across the 6 onto the green today, I don't know whoever wins the tournament, but everyone's going to be talking about his shot on number 6. Well, he did the double. He did something no one else has done. He can completely dominate that hole, both physically and mentally. I mean, we can talk about what he did to Rory McIlroy, who put 2 in the water. Was he trying to chase that corner shot like Bryson did? But Bryson, in the end, Diane, he's just knows how to win. He's just won at every level. And Lee Westwood, at 47 years old, put on a gallant effort, but Bryson was just too strong in the end.
It was a victory that really meant so much to Bryson. And I think, it's 5 years since the passing of Arnold Palmer, and he's honoured so much at that tournament. I mean, his course, it's his tournament. But the players really, you can tell just how much he means to everyone in golf. And everyone had their little umbrellas at some point on their hats, their bags, their shoes, whatever. But Bryson talked about the fact that he had a letter that Arnold Palmer had written him not long before he passed. And he makes no secret of the fact that he's his icon. So for him to win the tournament, you could just see how much it meant for him to wear that red sweater at the end of the day.
I've seen that red sweater. I was at Mark Leishman's house and I looked at it and held it. I wasn't going to put it on, Diane, because that's reserved for only the winners. But Bryson is the shiny object in the room, Diane. Whether you like him or not, he is all eyes are on him on every shot, because there's so much to see, whether it's power, whether it's controversy, whether it's a new technique, thick grips, straight arms when he putts, all these things he has going, and he's still able to put it all together. But yes, this was a tribute to Arnold Palmer. Arnold had a beautiful habit of writing us letters. I'm saying I did get a letter from Arnold when I won the PGA. Byron Nelson also had that habit. So does Jackie Burke. So does Jack Nicklaus. So there's a lot of great letters floating around that we all are cherished. But Bryson, he was texting with Tiger Woods, unlikely duo to be together. Yeah. But he got some help from Tiger. He was harnessing that power. Tiger said, fight like Arnold would fight. He had Arnold Palmer in Bryson's mind as well. And we talk so much, Diane, about this piece of paper, which is stats. But in the end of the day, it's almost something else that always wins the tournament.
As I said, I was there on Sunday and they had a lot of fans at the tournament. It really felt like normal, especially watching the final groups teeing off. When Jordan teed off, I mean, the fairway was lined, the tee box was slammed, the green you couldn't get anywhere near. But walking around and watching and listening to people. So, for example, we spent quite a lot of time watching Bryson warming up on the range. As soon as he pulled the driver, everyone cheered on the range. I mean, it's something that I had never seen before. Then when he was on the putting green, of course, fans are getting kind of closer and everyone's talking about him. You would have people saying like, oh, he's not as big as he looks on TV, or just commenting on the fact that he's so in the zone when you see him going through his routine on the putting green. But He's the talk of the town, and rightly so. And for me, as a golf fan and someone who works in the industry, I think there's nothing better than a Bryson win right now.
Yeah, we talked about on this very show, Diane, that we weren't going to put much stock into Bryson until about 3 weeks after he comes out of that garage where he does all of his weightlifting and all that, because he is sort of disconnected to the golf course. And we asked ourselves on this very show last week, was it time yet where Bryson was going to be able to sort of harness everything and get back into the golf mode? We saw him do silly things at Riviera and miss the cut. We saw him on the green in one at the concession and then didn't get back on the green until his fifth shot. But there was none of that last week, Diane. He's back to business. He knows what to do. The biggest thing about Bryson, he knows how to win. He's won when he was in college at SMU. He won the U.S. Amateur. He's won every step of the way. And, you know, when you think about these long drive guys, which he's sort of working with to a certain degree, they don't know how to do anything that Bryson does. Mm-hmm. I mean, for him to step up on the sixth hole and hit it right where he's looking, 370 yards away, he sort of crushed everybody mentally a little bit. It was just that kind of week. Once he got that behind him, he was off to the races.
And for me, by the time I left and got home, I was able to watch the last few holes. And when Westwood missed the birdie putt on 16, to me, it was like, okay, well, that was probably his chance to get back in there. They were all talking about the fact that 18 was going to play so difficult and anything could happen. But it was almost a foregone conclusion that Bryson was going to be able to handle 18 relatively well.
Yeah, it wasn't over on 18, although Westwood got a kind of a bad break and hit it into a divot on 18 and had to decide whether he was going to risk second place or go for first place and try to hit it right at the flag. Became too much out of that divot, put it 50 feet away, and then the story was already written from there. Although they did have to make a couple of 5-footers, but it felt like Bryson had the tournament well in control. It didn't really turn out that way, the way I just described with the last few putts. But at the end of the day, Bryson DeChambeau will move on to the Players' Championship to a much more confined course than at Bay Hill.
And that is what we're going to talk about. You talking about playing out of a divot, that leads us nicely actually onto our tour report for the Players' Championship. And we're excited to look at, well, the strongest field in golf, 48 of the world top 50 playing. And we will give you our full report with course analysis, looking at all the stats and our top picks as well. Get in the game on the SG Tour Golf Gaming app and play 4-ball. It's a classic stroke play competition based on the aggregate scores of 4 players. Who makes your team? Well, pick 4 guys, 1 from each tier based on the current world golf rankings. Want a tip? You need 4 guys to make the cut. Get in the game on the SG Tour Golf Gaming app, available on iOS in the App Store.